Well, a major thing for heads up is that the combinations of hands, and I made this mistake a lot when transferring to ring, there's many more combinations of hands in heads up than in ring. So a lot of times you can value bet thin or whatever when it's actually quite a large mistake, and ring to value bet thin when like a flush draw completes.
Yes.
But in heads up, it's not really that big of a deal because it's much more likely that the other player has top pair or whatever and might call river, things like that. I guess eventually something that I learned when playing ring is like the number of combinations that people play varies a lot based on position or whatever, and that was important to think about a lot of times. That was a skill that I learned from heads up that transferred eventually to ring once I understood. I guess one strategy for heads up that I have is I just try to win as like all the pots that I can possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
see like where people let me like take pots from them and where they don't. That's like a big thing with how I play heads up, and that also helps with ring game as well, because sometimes ring players are so used to having stuff that are so used to playing strong against strong ranges that they forget about little pots that they can pick up.
Oh yes, I think even more so in the heads up, the little pots. There are so many small pots that you play. I mean, it's very critical. You try to win as much of the hands as possible. Sometimes it's who you are playing against. It's the preference, you know. Even heads up and ring games.
I just like to play more hands. That's the main thing that I like about heads up, is that you play every hand instead of sitting around and folding because you have like ace-10 offsuit under the gun. Well, it's under the gun, I have to fold now. I actually like ring a little bit more just because there's more to ring than heads up these days.
Also in ring games, you know, if you feel like you want to take a break, you know, you can leave the game and the game will continue without you. But heads up, it's hard to take a break. First of all, you look, when the guy raises, you look at his stake. If you have a hand, playable hand, how aggressive is that guy, you know? Do I want to 3-bet him? You know, what are his chances of having a very good hand? The guy's playing style. You know, he's an aggressive guy. Of course, chances of him having a premium hand is lower, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas a guy who is tight and he raised, chances of this guy having a premium hand is very high. That's one of the first things I look at.
You're playing against Roy Cow or Winfred.
Yes, yes, basically. What about you? What other factors?
Those are, how loose or tight they are is one important factor. Also, how they respond to aggression. Like if they're more likely to 4-bet me or fold or call, like those things are very important. Also, I prefer to 3-bet someone more who calls than someone who 4-bets, of course.
Of course.
Also also like the kind of hand I have, obviously. I prefer to 3-bet a hand much like 5-6 suited more so than like Queen 10 suited, I guess. But I also try to like balance calling and 3-betting with a hand like Ace Queen offsuit, because it's like more of a subtle thing, but like if you call so much with Ace Queen offsuit, it becomes like a really obvious hand that you have. So like that factor is actually like somewhat important sometimes. It's like more important when you battle against like all regulars or all like decent opponents, whereas instead of fish, against like a fish, you 3-bet it all those hands a lot of the time.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Especially more so the Ace Queen hand. You know, some amateur players, in certain cases, they would never 3-bet Ace Queen, but with a pro, you know, they do.
Yeah. Also, you want to, I factor in like how, like, if I want to play heads up against that player, or if I want to let like another player in the big blind. Sometimes I think about things like that for certain hands and stuff like that.
Yes.
But mostly against like a VIP, I'm going to try to play more with them, and usually I like to 3-bet them a lot.